Okay, so get this right. There's this test out there, and it's so hard that even like the most advanced AI can barely pass. We're talking like single-digit scores here. It's called Humanity's Last Exam. Kind of intense name, right? But today we're going to take a deep dive into what it is, what it means for AI, and why you should even like care. We've got excerpts from the actual research paper right here. And let me tell you, it is a wild ride.
Oh, it's a fascinating study. Yeah, what we're seeing is that the existing ways we measure AI intelligence are, well, they're becoming kind of outdated. I mean, some AIs are scoring over 90% on these older tests like the MMLU. So we need a new challenge, something that really pushes the boundaries of what AI can do.
Okay, so that's where this humanity's last exam comes
Yeah.
in, this HLE. What makes it so different, so much harder?
Well, imagine a test, 3,000 questions, covering practically every subject you can think of: advanced math, physics, history, even linguistic puzzles. It's like the ultimate test of knowledge and reasoning, really.
Yeah. Wow, 3,000 questions. Sounds like they just threw everything but the kitchen sink at these AIs. But didn't you say there was something particularly unique about HLE?
Right, right. HLE isn't just about reading and answering, like text-based questions. Some questions involve images too. So that means the AI has to be able to understand and interpret visual information as well, not just words. It's a big step towards AI processing the world more, well, more like humans do.
Ah, so that's why it's called multimodal, right? I've heard that term thrown around. So it's not just about like knowing facts, it's about making sense of the world through multiple inputs. That's pretty cool, but also kind of scary if you think about it.
Indeed, indeed. And the scale of this project is just incredible. Nearly 1,000 experts from over 500 institutions. 50 countries contributed questions to HLE. They even offered a $500,000 prize pool to get the best questions possible.
Yeah.
Figure 2 in the paper actually shows some examples. I mean, they're all over the map in terms of subject matter.
Wow, that's a lot of brain power going into making this the ultimate AI challenge. But the big question is, how did the AI actually do? Did they pass humanity's last exam?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. The results were, let's just say, humbling for the AI. Even the most advanced models struggled to score above 10% accuracy.
10%. Yikes. That's a long way off from those 90% scores they were getting on those older tests. What does that tell us?
Well, it highlights a crucial point, really. We've still got a long way to go in developing AI that can truly match human intellect. We're good at building AI that can ace multiple choice tests and things like that. But when it comes to the kind of deep, multifaceted understanding that HLE requires, AI still falls short.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about all the hype we hear about AI, like writing code, composing music, even having conversations that sound almost human, if they can do all that? Why are they struggling so much with HLE?
Well, it's about the difference between mimicking and truly understanding. You see, AI can be trained to generate outputs that, look and sound like human work. But that doesn't mean it understands the underlying concepts or the nuances of the world the way humans do.
I see. So it's like AI can write a poem that rhymes and uses beautiful language, but it might not actually grasp the emotions or ideas the poem is trying to convey.
Precisely. And that's one of the things that makes HLE so valuable. It forces AI to move beyond, like surface level mimicry and demonstrate genuine understanding across a wide range of disciplines.
Okay, that makes sense. But I gotta admit, I'm still a little confused about this calibration error thing you mentioned earlier. Can you explain what that means and why it matters?
Of course. Calibration error, well, it refers to how well an AI system can assess its own confidence in its answers. And what's interesting is that the AI models often displayed high calibration errors on HLE. Like they were very confident in their answers, even when those answers were wrong.
Oh, so it's like that friend who's always sure they're right, even when they're totally off base. That's funny. But I guess it's not so funny when we're talking about AI making, important decisions, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
And this ties back to a key difference between human and artificial intelligence. Humans are generally pretty good at knowing when they don't know something. We can say, I'm not sure, or I need more information. But AI, at least
Yeah.
for now, really struggles with that kind of self-awareness.
That is a really interesting point. So even if AI can solve complex problems, if it can't accurately assess its own limitations, that could lead to some serious problems down the line.
Exactly. If we're going to trust AI to make decisions that affect our lives, it needs to be able to not only get the answers right, but also know when it's, out of its depth. And that's something that HLE highlights quite effectively.
Okay, that's starting to make a lot more sense. So HLE isn't just about like testing AI knowledge, it's also about revealing how AI thinks and
Yeah.
how well it understands its own capabilities. Pretty deep stuff. But let's get back to the exam itself. What kind of questions are we talking about here? Give me an example.
Well, take a look at this one from the research paper, Figure 2. It shows a picture of a complex piece of machinery, and it asks, what is the primary function of this device? To answer correctly, the AI would need to not only identify the various components, but also understand the underlying principles of physics and engineering that govern its operation.
Oh, that's intense. I'm not even sure I could answer that one. And I'm supposed to be the curious one here, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about memorizing facts. It's about applying knowledge to like real world scenarios.
Exactly. And that's what makes HLE such a valuable tool for evaluating AI. It goes beyond, simple information retrieval
Yeah.
and tests the kind of higher level cognitive skills that are essential for real world problem solving.
So this is getting me thinking. If AI are struggling so much with HLE now, what does that mean for the future? Will they ever be able to pass this exam?
That's the question everyone's asking. The creators of HLE actually predicted that AI could potentially exceed 50% accuracy by the end of 2025.
Wait, really? That soon? But we were just talking about how they can barely scrape 10% now. That seems like a huge jump. Do you think it's possible?
It's a bold prediction, for sure. But remember, AI development moves at an incredibly fast pace. What seems impossible today could become reality tomorrow.
Okay, I'll try to keep an open mind. But even if AI does reach that 50% mark, does that mean they've essentially like won?
Mm.
Is that the end of the line for AI development?
That's a great question, and it leads us into some really interesting territory. Passing HLE would definitely be a major milestone for AI. But it's more to remember that HLE is still just one benchmark, one snapshot of AI capabilities at a particular point in time. It's like graduating top of your class. But there's a whole world of knowledge and experience beyond the classroom, right?
Right. I guess even if an AI aced HLE, it wouldn't necessarily mean it's ready to, you know, go out and cure cancer or write the next great novel.
Exactly. You see, while HLE tests for a deep understanding of academic knowledge, it doesn't cover things like creativity, intuition, or the ability to learn and adapt to completely new situations. Think about how a scientist comes up with a new research question, right? That's not something you can simply learn from a textbook.
So HLE is like a powerful tool for measuring certain aspects of AI intelligence, but it's not the be-all and end-all.
Precisely. It's an important step, but it's not the finish line.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the things that makes it so exciting, really. It gives us a clear benchmark to measure progress. But it also leaves a lot of room for AI to continue to evolve and surprise us.
I'm starting to see why this research paper calls it humanity's last exam. Not because it's the last exam AI will ever take, but maybe the last one that focuses solely on this kind of like closed-ended academic knowledge.
You hit the nail on the head. And here's another interesting thing about HLE. The researchers made the full data set publicly available.
Wait, really? So anyone can just go and look at these 3,000 like mind-bending questions?
That's right.
Huh.
They even included detailed explanations for the answers. So it's a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to challenge themselves or learn something new.
That's so cool. It really speaks to the like collaborative spirit of the project. I mean, imagine the possibilities if all kinds of people, not just AI researchers, start like digging into this data set. It could lead to some really interesting discoveries.
Absolutely. It's a great example of how open access to data can accelerate progress in any field. This kind of transparency is essential, especially when we're dealing with something as powerful and potentially transformative as AI.
Okay, I'm definitely going to have to check out some of these HLE questions myself later. But honestly, just hearing about them has made me realize something.
What's that?
Well, sometimes I think we get so caught up in the hype around AI, what it can do, what it might be able to do in the future, that we forget just how amazing human intelligence is. I mean, the fact that we can even create a test like HLE is pretty incredible, wouldn't you say?
I couldn't agree more. HLE is a testament to the depth and breadth of human knowledge, really, and it serves as a powerful reminder that AI still has a long way to go before it can truly match the full range of human cognitive abilities.
So we've talked about the limits of AI, the power of human intelligence, and this amazing test designed to challenge both. But I'm curious, where does HLE fit into the bigger picture of AI development?
That's a great question. It's important to remember that AI research isn't just about, building machines that can pass tests. The ultimate goal is to create AI that can benefit humanity, solve real-world problems, make our lives easier, maybe even help us understand the universe better.
So you're saying HLE is like a stepping stone, a way to measure progress toward that larger goal.
Exactly. If AI can master the kind of complex reasoning and problem-solving skills required to pass HLE, It could have huge implications for all sorts of fields: scientific discovery, medical diagnosis, even artistic creation.
That makes sense. But let's not forget the potential downsides. We hear a lot about the risks of AI, job displacement, algorithmic bias, even the possibility of AI becoming uncontrollable. Does HLE shed any light on those concerns?
Well, while HLE doesn't directly address those specific issues, it does provide some valuable insights. The fact that current AI struggles with HLE, especially with that calibration error we talked about earlier, suggests that we need to be cautious about overestimating AI's capabilities.
So just because AI can, like, write code or generate realistic-looking images doesn't mean it understands the implications of what it's doing or has the capacity to make sound judgments in complex situations.
Precisely. HLE reminds us that true intelligence isn't just about processing information or generating outputs. It's about understanding context, reasoning ethically, and applying knowledge in a responsible and beneficial way.
Okay, that's a really important point. So while HLE might not have all the answers, it's definitely giving us a lot to think about as we navigate this, rapidly evolving world of AI.
Couldn't agree more. It's benchmarks like HLE that help us cut through the hype, assess where AI really stands, and focus on the challenges that matter most as we move forward.
All right, so where do we go from here? We've uncovered the limitations of current AI, the complexities of human intelligence, and the potential of HLE to push the boundaries of both. But this whole conversation has left me with a ton of questions. Like, what happens if AI actually gets to the point where it can consistently outperform humans on a test like this? What does that even mean for the future of, well, humanity?
Those are some big questions you're asking, the kind that have philosophers and AI researchers, well, really scratching their heads. It makes you think about what intelligence really is and where the line between human and artificial intelligence might blur.
Right. We've already said that passing HLE wouldn't mean AI suddenly becomes, like, conscious or sentient or whatever. But what if they get so good at these complex tasks that they start surpassing us in ways we never imagined?
It's a fascinating and frankly unsettling thought. Imagine AI contributing to scientific breakthroughs, developing new technologies, maybe even challenging long-held theories in different academic fields.
It's almost like a science fiction movie or something, but it's becoming more plausible every day, especially with these predictions that AI could make significant progress on HLE within just a few years.
And this brings us to the truly mind-blowing question the researchers pose at the end of the paper. If AI can master HLE, should we start thinking about them participating in human academic institutions?
Whoa, hold on. AI attending universities, taking classes alongside humans. That's next level. It's a wild thought, but it makes you wonder, what are the, like, implications?
It would definitely turn the whole concept of education on its head. How do you grade an AI? Do they get degrees? What about the social dynamics? Do human students feel intimidated or even threatened by AI classmates who might outperform them?
Those are really interesting questions. And what about the ethical side of things? How do we ensure fairness? How do we prevent AI from potentially dominating certain fields of study?
Exactly. It's not just about the logistics, it's about the ethical considerations too. We need to establish clear guidelines and safeguards to ensure that integrating AI into human institutions is done responsibly and benefits everyone.
It sounds like we're wading into some uncharted territory here. But I think it's a conversation we need to start having now, before it's too late. If these predictions about AI's progress on HLE are even remotely accurate, we need to be prepared for a future where AI plays a much larger role in academia and beyond.
You're absolutely right. And that's what makes this whole deep dive into humanity's last exam so important. It's not just about a test. It's about what that test reveals about AI, about ourselves, and about the future we're creating together.
Well said. I think it's safe to say that this deep dive has been an eye-opening experience for me, and I'm sure for our listeners as well. We've gone from talking about a single research paper to exploring some of the most profound questions about the nature of intelligence, the future of education, and the role of AI in society.
It's been quite a journey. And the best part is, it doesn't have to end here. For anyone listening who's feeling inspired to explore this topic further, I highly encourage you to check out the full HLE dataset. It's publicly available online, and it's a truly remarkable resource. You might even surprise yourself with how well you do on some of those mind-bending questions.
That's right. So whether you're an AI enthusiast, a lifelong learner, or just someone who enjoys a good mental challenge, take a look at HLE. You might discover something new about AI, about yourself, and about the incredible potential of human and artificial intelligence to shape the future.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to develop the next groundbreaking benchmark that pushes AI even further. The journey of discovery is just beginning.